So I got a message from my daughter the other day telling me how she's loving her life right now as an adult. And it's really interesting because if we rewind 10 years ago, my daughter was a bit of a lost soul. And today I want to share some lessons that my daughter's learned along the way, but one real key lesson that's got her to the place where she is right now. So I'm being a proud dad today in this video, but make sure you check out this video so you can learn from my daughter around how to get to a place that you love in your life. So if you met my daughter around the age of 17, she was a bit of a lost soul. School hadn't gone so well, and she was kind of hanging out, not necessarily with the best people, and kind of in a place where she was going in a bit of a bad direction in her life. And then luckily for my daughter, she got some good influences in her life, and she started to kind of grow herself as a person. And then she went to Australia and she managed to get a really high level management job within the pub industry. So she was managing a real successful pub at a very young age. It wasn't just like managing a shift, she was managing the whole venue. And this was a massive thing for my daughter because she was a kid who kind of had struggled at school and hadn't really done that well at school. And then to be put in a leadership role and a big responsibility around her age about 22 was quite a big thing for her. And over the next period of time, my daughter blossomed and grew so much as a person. And interestingly enough, as much as I work in fitness, my kid was never really the real fit kid. My daughter was never really a big exercise kind of kid. My thing as a parent was, as long as you're active and as long as you're healthy, you don't have to be a sports Billy, but we've got to keep you healthy. And so as a parent, I knew she wasn't me. I didn't want her to be me. It was about her finding her thing. But around this time, my daughter started to get into fitness as well. So she started training at the gym and bringing exercise into life. And she started loving exercise, which is kind of cool because that's kind of my game. And I remember having a conversation to her about 3 years ago, and she said, "Dad, I love my job. I love the responsibility I have. I love what that I get to manage people. I like the kind of business side of what I'm doing, but I don't necessarily feel it's aligned to what I want to be doing in my life. Like I want to be in a place where I'm doing stuff around health and fitness and, the thing I'm really passionate about. I'd love to take the skills that I'm learning from the pub industry into the fitness industry." Well, the other day I got a message from my daughter. She sent me a voice message through Facebook, and it was just the most amazing message to hear as a parent, because it was just a kid that was proud of themselves. My daughter was so proud of herself for many reasons. She'd done something that was really challenging that day, but more importantly, she'd just recently gone into business and opened a Pilates studio in Cairns in Australia, where she lives. And so she'd left her pub job and she'd opened a Pilates studio with another friend of hers, and it's going really well. And she was just kind of telling me, "Dad, I'm just loving my life right now." Now, this is a really cool moment in my life, but why am I sharing this with you? Well, I want to take you back a step. So basically about 18 months ago, about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, my daughter came over to New Zealand, and we were doing a big walk up Mount Cook here in New Zealand. And we were talking about investing. I've always loved investing. I'm a big believer in you need to invest in your life and invest in your future and all these types of things. And my daughter was talking about, because she was doing Pilates at this time, she was saying, "Dad, I think I want to be an instructor, but the course costs around $7,000. It's a big chunk of money." And I talked to her about this idea of, while we want to be thinking about investing for long-term financial rewards, one of the best investments we can do in life is the investment in ourselves. Like we want to invest in ourselves so we can kind of become the person that we want to be. And so obviously something about that conversation triggered my daughter, because when she got back to Australia, she kind of got in contact and said, "Dad, I'm going to sign up, I'm going to do this course." And over the next year, she did the course and became a Pilates instructor. And then from there, she became a Pilates instructor, was loving being a Pilates instructor, to the point where she's just gone into business of being an owner of a studio. Now, this is a really cool lesson and story for my daughter, because here's a kid who kind of 10 years ago was a bit of a lost soul, found a good role and developed herself, but didn't feel aligned as a person, and now has woken up at the age of 27, absolutely loving her life, doing something that she feels really empowered for, has skills that she can bring from to her past, and has a really exciting future as she looks to the life she has in front of her. Now, one thing I want you to take away from my daughter's lesson is that she invested in herself. And this is such an important thing to think about, because there's so many people out there who want to have the life they have, but they don't invest in themselves. And investing in yourself is a few things. Time. Like if you are in a place where right now you want to create change in your life, how much time are you investing to creating that change to being the version you want to be? Secondly, effort. Like you've got to put time in, but you also got to put the effort in to do the work. And then thirdly, financially. Like my daughter, $7,000 is a big chunk of money when you're in early 20s, but she invested that money in herself to develop herself, and now she's in a place where she's loving the life she led. Here's a really interesting question I love to think about is, how much of your money each week do you spend on investing in yourself? Like, it's really interesting. I've got a fitness business and I've got a fitness business, and I hear all the excuses under the sun of why people can't join one of my products when they're interested in my product. And one thing that's really interesting is they often use money as the reason. Now, I get that some people are really financially struggling right now. So I totally get it. If you're living on pennies, I totally get it. But I think if most people reflect upon their spending and they were to go, you know what, I'm wasting so much money over here, and if I were to put that into investing in myself, maybe I'd have a higher chance of getting to the place where my daughter is right now. So just a real kind of key message I want you to take away from my daughter's lesson is, how much are you investing in creating the life that you love? Are you investing time, effort, and money? And if you do you think you'll get to that place that you want to get to? Because I've got to be honest, as my daughter sent me that message the other day, it was such a proud dad moment. Proud because I love my daughter and I just really love seeing her flourishing. But more importantly, proud that she's really good at making decisions that are helping her create the life that she loves. So if you're in that place where maybe you're not where you want to be, are you investing in yourself? And if not, what can you do to make sure you're investing in creating that life that you love as well? If you enjoy my pieces and you want to bring exercise into your life, you need to check out my book, I Will Make You Passionate About Exercise. This book is designed to be a step-by-step journey that teaches you the right lessons and experiences to guide bringing exercise into your life, not just for a moment, but where you get to the place where you have a long-term love of exercise. So you get fitter, you get healthier, you have great stress releases, and you feel amazing about yourself. This book has been hugely successful, getting into the top 10 in the world for health and fitness books. So if it's time for you to bring health and fitness into your life, go to Passion About Exercise, click on the link, go through the process, and you can be starting your journey of finding your love for exercise really soon.